Hello everyone and welcome to another Top of the Box challenge. My name is Luke Pickles, I'm Dungeon Master and Game Person of Eat, Quit and Survive, and today I'm taking on a new board game collection challenge that was set by Nick Murphy of the Brothers Murph. Thank you, Tilly. I'm being heckled by a dog. This challenge is one that Nick did quite recently, and this is a sort of a continuation from the single shelf collection challenge that Ross and I did a little while ago. We've got that up there. We're going to be doing the other part of that very soon with my collection. But this is sort of the continuation of space is getting even more of a premium. So now we have to make the best board game collection that can fit into a single box. Ticket to Ride is the suggested box size, but I don't actually own regular Ticket to Ride, or a regular Ticket to Ride box. I have like the 15th anniversary edition of the Ticket to Ride Europe. So I'm going with Cubitos, because that's about the same size. So I'm going to be using that. I'm going to put this over here, because I'll need that lid later on. Now, the challenge rules as they are. For anyone else who, by the way, wants to give this a go, by all means, let us know in the comments how this goes, what you think of the collection. The rules for this, we have to be able to get everything that we need to do to play the game into this box. And by that I mean we need pretty much all the components that are needed for the base game in order to do that. It does mean that there's going to be a little bit of fudgery, I'm going to say, for certain things. Like, I'll sort of explain those as they come. So if there is a component that can be used in one game, like the meeples in Architects of the West Kingdom, could reasonably be used in another game. There's 20 meeples of each player colour. You could use it in, say, Carcassonne. You could reasonably do that. I think that's okay. I may be wrong. You call me out in the comments. It's my challenge. I can do what I want. So we're going to be trying to do that. Everything that is necessary to play the game must go into the box. So you can't just go, this can go out. But some things might have like a board that you just put down that is just to put stuff on. You don't really need. You can just kind of, it's just there, so we can kind of do without. But rule books do have to fit, and I do have to be able to close this lid fully. So there's no lid lift. So we're going to see how this goes. Now, the way Nick did it is he wandered around his collection and picked things up. I've actually got a bunch of games just off camera here that I have already grasped, and I'm going to try and fit in. We'll see how this goes. So let's get started with our first one. I think the first one I'm going to go with is just here, Carcassonne. Pretty small box at the best of times, but I think I can get away with this right now. I mean, pretty small rule book. This supplementary sheet is not really relevant because this introduces the farmers, Screwing the Fields, the river, and the Abbot expansion, so I don't really need that. I do need this for the basic rules. We've got a regular little player board here. We've got the Abbey and Mayor expansion. Got a little bag of meeples. They can fit in there quite nicely. We've got another set of meeples here. I'm just going to take out some of these tiles. So, I think Carcassonne is a great one for this sort of collection because it's a game that you can just introduce to anyone right off the box. Right off the bat, it's completely unique because you're starting off with this singular tile, and you can just sort of go from there. You can really introduce people to new games with this. So I'm going to start off with Carcassonne. The rest of what's in this box, by the way, these are the river tiles. So they're part of an expansion, technically. And these are just some extra colour meeples because people I play with sometimes like to do different colours. So let's do that. And I'll put this on the floor there. Please don't eat that, Tilly. All right, so rule books. I'm going to leave the rule books to one side because they can fill in a little bit later. But this, oh yeah, this is a nice small start. Look at that. That is excellent. Okay. Might do something with these meeples later. In fact, actually, I can see that there's wonderful audio. There's the Abbot meeples that you don't really need. I tend to use them as score markers when I do play. So let's put those in the box. So if another game has meeples that comes up, you don't necessarily need them. As long as they've got the right meeple count, I guess. Very nice. Squash that bag as small as we go, get as much space as we can. All right. Game number one. Carcassonne. And I think that's a pretty big game, relatively speaking. I think that's okay. It's a good intro, good tile placement game. Doesn't have a solo though, so I might have to think about that one. Let's see here. There's going to be a few jump cuts here because I'm going to be looking around and just leaning over and grabbing things, and that's not necessarily great to watch. But let's go for a heavy game. Let's go for the big, heavy game, Clans of Caledonia. Let's see if we can get this to fit in here. It's a small box on its own, so it does carry a lot of stuff in it. As the only thing that could be an issue is I have the folded space insert for Clans of Caledonia, but I'm hoping, these are all pretty thin, I think we could probably get away with this. I think we can get away with this. Maybe. That's reference cards. I'm also not being like super hard on myself. Like if I pick something up and I go, I can't really do that, I can put it back and I can just, take it out again. A few more boards. Ooh, I do not like how that is. There we go. Let's try and level things off, shall we? I begin to think this may have been a mistake. But let's see. Oh, that's nice. Scoreboard, pad. Yes, maybe. Bit of a lift there. I may have to do some futzing just to get this in. These should fit in there. Yeah, that's fine. This, however, well, this may work in my favour. This, I may still have to scrap this. Oh my god, that's nope. I think that's going to take up too much space because I mean, Clans of Caledonia, although it comes in a small box, there's a lot of stuff in that box, and that is a huge density. So I'm going to clean this up and jump back in a second. Okay, so Clans of Caledonia did not work. I still want a heavier game though than Carcassonne. So I think, looking at the games I've got here, they aren't that heavy in terms of weight. But then again, I guess the idea of this is that you have a collection that's for you and the people you're going to play with. So let's get that yawn out. Let's go with this. This may have the same problem, but Wingspan Asia. It's a similar. It is a very similar size box. A bit smaller, but there are things in Wingspan Asia, the two-player version, that are redundant, in my opinion. Like this 6-7 player marker, don't need that if you're only playing with two. First player marker, don't really need it. I mean, you can, I guess you could, I guess we kind of need to keep that. Blackbirds, whitebirds, eggs, cards, score pad. Back to this. This is an example of things that are unnecessary, like this little bird. This is actually the bird row that you would get in the regular game. This is, you don't necessarily need this. Same for this. Actually, this is the this replicates the bird feeder. So I think you don't necessarily need that for the dice. You do need the dice though. You don't need this tray. That's the food components. Okay. Let's try and fit these in. I don't need these 6-player reminders. This can tuck inside here because, as Nick showed, wonderful Nick Murphy. baggies take up a lot of space. So if we can cut these down by just tucking stuff inside, we can create more space. So let's put those there. Those little gold cards can just sit there. Oh my gosh. Okay. Got 2 player boards. Yep. That will fit in there. Just need to move Carcassonne. I guess I could have just rotated stuff around because it's a square box, but it's not good. Okay. Dice. Duet tokens for the 2 players. I'm already nervous about how this is going. I may have been too ambitious. Okay. Appendix, Ultima rules. Here's the thing. I don't really play Wingspan solo that often. So I'm going to say no to the Ultima rules because I will only have... If you're playing Wingspan AG, you can be playing with 2 players. So let's do that. I also need this board. That is a lot of stuff in there already. And the first player token. Which again, you don't need. I don't think. I think we can get away with not having the first player token. Tell me if you think I'm cheating. This is my challenge. I'm going to do what I want. Okay. Wingspan Asia. I'll leave the rulebooks just there. Oh boy, that is a lot of space in there. That is already taken up by these components. With smarter packing, I can manage this. All right, I'm going to go with a small game now. I'm going to go with Bandita. So I think there's a small hole just at the bottom there that I can plug. I don't need that. That is a advert for other Helvetic games. So I don't need that. But I do need the rules and the cards. Will you fit in there? No, but you might fit that way. Yeah. Just... No! Come on! God dang cards. Fit! Alright, well... Well, they will fit in there. So let's just do that for now. I'm going to put the rulebooks with the rulebooks. I can go back in the little box. Now, a couple of the other games that I have picked on this are small card games, because I think they will fit, they'll be able to sort of tessellate into this box. But let's go with something, let's go with a couple of roll rights. We're going to start off with cartographers, and then we're going to see if we can fit Merchants of Magic in there as well. Cartographers, you're just out there drawing a map. In this particular box, I have a couple of the different map packs available. So we've got some pencils, some of the various scorecards from, I think this is from Cartographer's Heroes, and some of the expansions, just as these cards are all shuffled together. Those can get sorted out another time. In this one, though, we have got the Frozen Expanse and Hornhelm Market. I'm just going to use the Frozen Expanse maps to sort of represent cartographers. I would normally put the rulebooks in, but here's the thing with roll rights. You only really need one of these sheets, because one of the sheets will tell you everything. Well, you know, you just photocopy it, right? You could just get away with it that way. I also don't have the rulebook for cartographers anymore. I've played it that much. I don't necessarily need it, so I don't have it. So I'm going to, as penance for that, I'm just going to put the whole map pack in there, which is slightly less sheets than the form. It just goes up to 100, but it's more than the rulebook. So that kind of balances things out. Those are the cartographers' cards. They can slot there. That's good. Right. So that's for a game of cartographers and Merchants of Magic. Merchants of Magic is set in the Set a Watch Tale universe, or Set a Watch universe. Kind of Simpson. It's a wonderful little roll and write where you are basically, put it that way so it's easy to see, where you are making magical items. It's really interesting. I really like it. And it is a 1 to 8 player game, as opposed to the Cartographers, which is 1 to 100 in theory. Some of the names on these sheets. Again, you don't need all the sheets, so I'm gonna take a couple. I'm gonna take these two. I don't need these pencils because I've got the pencils from cartographers in there. And this stack of cards that I do need, because they are what's setting up the different goals you get. So in Emergence of Magic, you are rolling dice, and you will use those dice to sort of create items. So you'll either create the items, or you'll create the enchantments that go with it. So I'm going to tuck this in just there. It doesn't matter if they're bent slightly, because as I say, you just photocopy them. And that fits in there nicely. You do have these little potion vials and this set of dice, which I think you've got a D8, D6, D12, D10. And I think if we throw those in, along with the pencils, and if I get over here, because I keep my DM stuff nearby, if I just take a D20, I'll just take this one. You've got everything you need to play D&D in there. So, I'm counting that. I've got everything I need to play D&D, right? That counts, right? You guys have sided me on this one. Didn't want to close that just yet. Oh, God. Now, I could substitute these potions. I could use meeples instead, but to be honest, there's enough futzery going along here, so I'm going to just live with them. To be honest, I don't mind that much. They're not taking up a huge amount of space. Plus, they're components that are quite nice for this game, so I'm okay with those sticking around. Might just let some air out of this bag. There we go. Merchants of Magic. I'll put the dice in there with them so I don't lose them. Wait. This is already getting to be a very full box, and there's only, what, 4 games in here? 5 games. 6, technically, if you include D&D. Okay. Go flat. Okay. So we've got 2 roll and writes, 2 card tile placement games, a bit of engine builder. I think I next want to try and go for a couple of games that are ones that you can introduce people to. So I can use those games as an introduction for people to a collection of games. So I'm going to start off with Villainous, and then we're going to try and see if we can get Unmatched in there as well. Specifically, this is the Wicked to the Core Villainous, which has the Evil Queen, Dr. Facilier, and Hades in there. And Unmatched Robin Hood and Bigfoot, because you can get 2 characters out of this one, and I'm hoping they will fit in quite nicely. But what I like about these games is that you can combine them with other games within their universe, so I'm hoping you can kind of get away with that. You can use it to introduce other people to, and then you've got them. You don't necessarily have to do it all the time. So, let's start with Villainous. Oh, God, there's so many cards. There's so many cards. I did not think this through. Okay. All right. Going to be some jiggery pokery. So many cards in here. Okay. So let's go with Evil Queen deck. Dr. Facilier. Hades. Slot the pencils in. Oh, that's nice. Fate token. No, you can go there. Fate token can be used across multiple games as a first play token, so I am happy with that. Power tokens. So if you don't know, Villainous, you are acting as a villain in one of the Disney or Pixar films, and you're going about doing evil, villainy things. Trying to collect power, going about different resources, dealing with the heroes in your film, and trying to enact your evil plot. It kind of flips the world on its axis a little bit. I'm going to be careful with these minis. Again, you don't necessarily need these, but they're great. They're absolutely unnecessary to be as good as they are, but they are chunky and fun, and to be honest, I think everyone kind of likes them, so I love them. And the reason I've gone for this set in particular, apart from the fact that it's only got 3 characters in it, as opposed to the original, which had the base game, which has 6. Hades is one of my favourite Disney villains. The Evil Queen is one of Laura's, because Snow White is one of her favourite films. And Dr. Facilier happens to be in that box. So we'll go with those. All right. That's that. Wingspan food. Tuck that there. And the potions and things can go there. All right. More cards. Unmatched is a skirmish game where you are battling, putting up 2 foes against each other. And again, I picked this set because it's only got 2 characters in it, Robin Hood and Bigfoot. I've got some nice minis. That Bigfoot mini is great. Look at that. That's cool. But you can mix and match as you want with different characters. And this is one of my smaller sets because it does only have 2 characters in it. Be careful these minis don't... I'm going to try and tuck them in somewhere so they don't snap. There you go, Bigfoot. Found Bigfoot. Put him over there. But yeah, so you can use these characters however you like. You can combine them with different sets, and if you can encourage someone to try it using a character that they're familiar with, like Bigfoot or Robin Hood, then they can go off and they can buy their own sets, I think. Which for a little combat skirmish game, I think is pretty decent. All right, so let's put your little allies down there, and the health dials just slot in there. Ah, the maps. Okay. Luckily, they're all about the same size. They're a bit bigger than cartographers, so let's tuck you in there. Okay. All right. I'll help reference cards. I will just sit on top. There you go. Cardboard compressors, right? Okay. I wanted to try and get big games in, but I think I'm going to struggle. I've got so many cards in there. Oh, man. There's a lot more stuff in these board games than you realise. Okay. Let's go with a silly young people party game kind of thing. So let's do Attack a Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. Because again, more cards, geez. But just a single deck, which I can tuck in here, maybe? That's way too high. I might come back to this. I'm trying to keep things neat. I think might be a mistake, but we'll see. Again, another small one I might come back to is Marvel Love Letter, Infinity Gauntlet. Looking what I've got left here that I picked up, and I'm not sure how many of those will actually fit in. Let's go for something that's designed to be small and big. Let's go for Tiny Epic Galaxies by Gamelin Games. This is one of Scott Arms' games. And there's not a huge amount that needs to go out of its box, so it's pretty small on its own. There's the rule book. Your little spaceships and your cards and your player boards. They can sit on. They can just sit there with Dr. Facilier. Your dice. Bigfoot Mini escaping. More cards. Jeez, so many cards. So many cards. Okay. Tiny Epic Galaxies. Tiny Epic Galaxies. That is a. There's not a lot in this box. There's a good chunk of game in there, I think, that I've managed to... Yeah, okay. I'm happy with Tiny Epic Galaxies. Right. I've got an empty space here. The rulebooks don't take up that much space, so I'm okay with that. So I can probably get some more cards in. How many games have I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. plus D&D. Okay, what else can I get away with? Let's try a party game. Let's try a party game. This is Left-Right Dilemma. This is a game about knowing your friends and seeing how well you know your friends by just sort of seeing how they would react to moral questions, or I'll say moral questions, but ambiguous questions. Let's put it that way. So yeah, nice little party game which you can play with technically any number of people, as long as you've got the stuff on. I'm not going to put that up on top because that's got some questionable artwork, and by questionable I mean sexy. So let's put that to one side. Trying to make space for these things that are just riveted. They can just be dealt out, quite frankly. So they're small enough to just sort of fall flat. And there are questions like breaking and entering. Would you break and enter to a museum or your neighbour's jacuzzi? This person, what would they do? You choose which way to go. You go left or right. You can basically work your way down to the pyramid. There's a whole stack of questions. There's 2 packs of questions. That fit nicely in there. That's satisfying. Wow, I thought I'd have a lot more space than I did when I picked some of these games. Oh boy, okay. Well, that kind of deals with higher player count. Cartographers, Left-Right Dilemma, they're kind of high player counts-ish if you want to. Banditas, relative player count. Wingspan's 2-player, Carcassonne's 1 to 5. Unmatched, we've got it to 2, 1 to 8 on Merchants of Magic. I want to try. There we go. I want to try Sushi Roll. I think one of the better versions of a drafting game. Oh, that is a big rule book. Jeez. Ooh, immediate. I forgot about this bag and these playables. Oh, if I was at the beginning, I probably would have gone for this, but nope, that is too much stuff to try and fit in at once. Let's put you to one side. No. Let's see. Can we get? Let's try 10. Let's see if we can get another push. Let's see if we can get push or luck in there somehow. All right. Oh god, so many more cards. More cards. Why are there so many cards? These little tokens, they can just tuck in there. Yeah, sure. That, these. Is that above that line of the box? No, that's okay. I'm just trying to slot cards in wherever I can. There are so many cards. I don't necessarily need to use these tokens because they could use the Wingspan Duet. Duet tokens as that. I might keep that in the back pocket just as a maybe, because you could reasonably substitute those. Yeah, that'll do. That can go on there. I'm gonna have fun putting this back. Okay, that's 10. Push your luck game. So let's see how this fits together with the Cubitos lid. So, there is lid lift on there. Okay. It kind of does suggest we're at capacity here, folks. But I think if I rearrange some of these rule books, why is it lifted there? Okay. Okay, that is closed because for some reason the Cubitos lid doesn't actually go all the way down, even when it's like not fully empty. There's still a slight lip. I'm not sure if you can see it if I do that. There is a very slight gap underneath it. That's not just me saying that to cheat, because if I can't even push that down any further, so that is a very slight thing. I'm going to see if I can fit one more in. It's maybe hubris. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try for Infinity Gauntlet Love Letter, because this is such a small card game. I think we can do it. I think I can do it. So let's put those there. And again, this is one of mine and Laura's favourite games to take with us when we go to a restaurant or something, because it's small enough to just sort of slip into my pocket if I need to, or into Laura's purse or whatever if we're just going about. So let's see if I can fit another set of cards in somewhere. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's going to be tight in there. Let's see. That's a small one. Oh boy, I thought I could get more in this box, if I'm honest. But I think, folks, that might be my absolute capacity. And that is everything I could fit into a Cubitos. God, that's heavy. That is everything I could fit into a single Cubitos box. So let's get that side by side right now. Alright everyone, that is 11 games stuffed inside this one Ticket to Ride size box. 12 if we include, you know, D&D as a playable game with everything I need to play it, with the character sheet and some other stuff. Yeah, we saw I couldn't get Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza in. I was going to try and get Star Realms in because I love the deck builder. Cascadia was a possibility, and I couldn't get Sushi Roll in there because I forgot about how much stuff's in there. So yeah, that is what I've managed to fit into this box. If you are a creator, then see if you can beat this. See if you can get 12 games into your box. I'd love to see you try. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? What do you think of this collection that I have in here? These are the games that have gone into it. So yeah, tell me what you think. Thank you very much for everyone for being here. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you are interested in seeing some more of this. We usually do some board game stuff on a Wednesday on twitch.tv/eCritSurvive, and we also do it over on Fridays for some D&D content. My name is Luke, and thank you very much again for watching.